this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Today is a new day, new day, new day. And I can see a new way, new way, new way. It's gonna be good, gonna be good, gonna be good. 'Cause everything is new today. Today's made of softly,
Softly, softly,
and I can shake it
my way, my way, my way.
It's gonna be good, gonna be good, gonna be good. 'Cause everything is new today.
Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in the heart of Las Cruces. Randy, can I touch this?
Can now. Go ahead. Got it?
Didn't want it to pop on your ears. Our vision here is a world and loving partnership for the good of all. I want to welcome anyone who is visiting for the first time. We have guest bags at either exit if you'd like to pick one up on your way out. Please make sure your phones are on vibrate or silent. That's when everybody runs for their phones. We're still doing the coat giveaway. We have some on a rack out there, so if anyone has any more or knows of people that might be getting rid of some coats and things, please bring them in and we'll continue to put them out as long as we have them. On December 5th, we will be celebrating our birthday after the service with some cake and coffee for the first time. Yay! And we will have a card writing project. We will be writing cards to send to people in local nursing homes so that they get a holiday card. So we will have that project going as part of our celebration. And the practitioners that are here will be in service to you to do little mini treatments and support you in prayer at that time. In addition, we have some other service projects coming up. The CASA let us know that unfortunately they were broken into. And part of what got taken from CASA was gift cards that were used to buy supplies and personal needs for the children, hygiene items, clothing, and school supplies. So we will be collecting, if you just want to pick up a Visa or MasterCard for $10 or $20, they said that's the kind of card that helps. And then their children's advocate or social worker uses those cards to get the things that the children need. It's specifically for things like I said, the personal items. It's not Christmas gifts. They're doing that in a different way. So anyone who wants to bring a little card or a few, we will be collecting them. If you need more information, Teresa and I have the information. There's another service project coming up, but stay tuned for that one. So now please welcome our practitioner in service.
Well, good morning. I'm your practitioner in service this morning, Doug Bailey, and I would like to all welcome you. Isn't this a beautiful day? We believe in the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. You can fill out a prayer request in the back, and you'll find them in the back of the chairs. And you can deposit them in the God can in the back or in the prayer or in the collection plate on the way out. Your prayers will be taken and dealt with by the ministers and practitioners of the four local New Thought centers. And in addition, if you have anything that you would like to deal with, look for the practitioners after the service, and we will be glad to give you a mini treatment. And we would also like you to fill out a gratitude card for what you are grateful for. That's just a wonderful opportunity for you to get your consciousness turned into a magnet that attracts that wonderful stuff. And now is the time for song, silence, and prayer.
Glad. In this moment, I am glad. Glad is this moment. Glad, glad, glad. This moment is what I am. Joy. In this moment, I am joy. Joy is this moment. Joy, joy, joy. This moment is what I am. In this moment, I am still. Still is this moment. Still, still, still. This moment is what I am.
So in the stillness of this moment, let us recognize that magnificent divine energy that expresses through all that surrounds us. Allow us in this moment of peace just to recognize that divinity which expresses through each person in our experience. Let's allow ourselves to feel the gratitude that comes with this magnificent life of ours, with the opportunities that abound in each moment to truly make a difference. And so it is. My reading this morning is out of a wonderful little book called To You, Love God by Will Bauer. Gratitude is an elevator transporting you to higher and happier levels of life. Gratitude shifts your focus away from the darkness and towards the light. Gratitude transforms cries of woe into exclamations of joy. Gratitude sees a mountain of opportunity and ignores the foothills of difficulty. Gratitude awakens the angel of elation and vanquishes the demon of despair. Gratitude raises your vibration, attracting to you more for which to be grateful. Gratitude opens your heart and invokes compassion. Gratitude transforms what is into what can be. Gratitude is your greatest power for creation, and gratitude slumbers within you now, awaiting your call. Begin now to count your blessings in earnest, and you will never finish, for there is far more to celebrate than there is time for celebration. Thank you.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. And he always had some mighty fine wine. Singing joy to the world, all the boys and girls.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
If I were the queen of the world, tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the wars and give my love to you. Singing joy to the world, all the boys and girls.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
You know that all the ladies love to have our fun. I'm a high life flyer and a rainbow rider, straight shooting son of a gun. I said a straight shooting son of a gun. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Joy to the world, all the boys and girls, yeah.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
That'll get us going. Yay, thank you. So this morning we have the pleasure again of hearing from Liliane Pilot, who has spent much of her life as a spiritual seeker. She completed advanced training in the use of sound and music and healing, and then became a licensed practical nurse. In 2001, she went to India and later led sounding and mantra groups and facilitated workshops in sound healing. From 2005 until 2013, she was a member of the music ministry at the Center for Spiritual Living, Edmonton, Canada, and earned her Science of Mind practitioner license in 2012. She's been serving as a practitioner here at the center and speaking for us for several years now. We were so blessed when she arrived, so please help me welcome Liliane Pilot.
Bonnie's ducking. She doesn't know how far these flailing arms are going to go. So I want to start us off with a little bang and just shout it out. I got gratitude, 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 gratitude. I got gratitude, 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 gratitude. I got gratitude, 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 gratitude. I got gratitude, I got gratitude. Boom. And I do have a little gratitude tucked, I put it in this pocket. No, this pocket. I have a lot of gratitude this week, and it's just been a wonderful weekend of catching up with people and people, you know, helping just make everything work so that I could come and do this. It just, what an awesome community. Thank you, everybody. So the title of this talk is Accept the Gift. Now, what gift might that be? In her book, Three Teachings, Tenzin Palmo writes about mindfulness, and she uses the example of washing dishes, which usually we're doing to clean the dishes. Except that while we're doing it, we're thinking about everything under the sun, except for cleaning dishes. We might zip back in our minds to doing dishes as a household chore as a kid, or maybe we remember that time we accidentally hit our brother over the head with one of Granny's plates because he ticked us off. Or maybe we're projecting into the future and thinking about an upcoming meeting or what to get Aunt Gertrude for Christmas. Oh, I forgot her birthday present. You see what I mean? And the problem with this, I mean, it's one thing to ditch your thinking while you're doing some sort of chore that you just have to make your way through. But the problem is we do exactly the same thing with stuff we enjoy. So you're just taking that first bite of a delicious lemon square. Oh, so good. And then all of a sudden you're comparing it to other lemon squares, and you start thinking about the recipe, and then you remember the time that you took lemon squares to that party and that lady was allergic to lemon. Before you know it, your favorite treat has basically gone down the gullet, and you've missed every single step. Didn't enjoy a single moment of it. All of this is a great reminder to be present so that we can experience our good. How can we feel gratitude if we can't experience the moments that call for it? And how do we accept the gifts we're given if we're not present? And how do we feel the presence of the divine in all things if we're busy replaying the past or planning the future? Maya Angelou said, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer." And I say, let gratitude be the pillow upon which we kneel to begin each day, blessing the presence of the divine in all things. We can begin with the most ordinary things. Bless waking up. Bless having a bed to sleep in. Bless your first cup of coffee. So as you're waking yourself up, wake your gratitude up as well. And that, I know, can feel like a tall order sometimes. And, you know, for example, I don't know if all of you know this, but we've been having a global pandemic. We might not feel gratitude for a pandemic, but we can certainly feel grateful for some of the changes that we've had to make, or some of the different ways of reaching out and connecting that have happened as a result of it. I was listening to a recent CSL Edmonton talk by Elizabeth Manuel, and she spoke of some of the changes that she needed to make. Some positive things have come out of her time. You have to bear in mind, in Canada, isolation measures were quite a lot more strict than anything we experienced here, and at least that part of Canada. All of Canada, which is huge. And we're also talking about somebody who deals with seasonal affective disorder, and so the long and severe winters are really hard on her, and she manages them in part by going somewhere warm for several weeks every year, which of course she couldn't do during COVID. So she talked about how she managed. She said, I put spirituality first, and then I noticed that I was thriving, not surviving. I was elevated. I felt good. I felt like I was helping and contributing to the well-being of my clients online and contributing here at the church. She put spirituality first, which required a kind of a disciplined spiritual practice, meditation, affirmative prayer, a commitment to personal growth, and gratitude. And she thrived all winter long. And when warm weather returned, she was back in her natural element. She's outside, outdoors, gardening, biking, enjoying the beautiful long northern summer evenings. And she was so happy to be back in her happy place that she let go of her deepened spiritual practice because she started it to manage a difficult time, and time was no longer difficult, right? But then came the aha. She realized she was happy enough, but she was no longer thriving. She'd been so busy digging in her garden, she'd stopped digging deep within, plumbing her own spiritual depths. And she realized she had to return to those things that support and sustain her, because these are the things that foster a climate for gratitude. We have to accept the gifts that come with spiritual practice. And I know there's a little wiggly part in my brain that has at times thought, well, I'm doing spiritual practice to be in the world, not of it, and so I'm going to be beyond this, or no. That's a great way to separate yourself from the rest of the world in gratitude. A couple of years ago, a number of us went to the convention in Chapala, Mexico, and I met a woman named Kim. We spent a couple of days in Tlaquepaque. That's such a great word. Before we went to the convention, and I bumped into this woman. We just hit it off and became friends. She actually came to the convention with us. We roomed together. And she's an RN, and after Mexico, she came back to the States, and she was working in the hospitals during the toughest of the first wave of COVID. And then that kind of simmered down, and she got diagnosed with cancer, and she spent since then dealing with medications and all the side effects from the medications, and now she's been told that there's some other things going on. And I was just talking to her a couple of days ago, and she said gratitude had saved her from swimming in self-pity. She said, what I focus on grows, so gratitude needs to be in the forefront to deal with the fear and anxiety I would otherwise drown in. And then laughing, she said, and I need to remember to be grateful when they're making my radiation mask that's bolted to the exam table with my head inside. But day by day, Kim is accepting the gift of life and all the little moments that it's made of. So gratitude is a practice. It's like exercising new muscles. And we get locked into patterns of how we move. But there's a wide range of muscle groups that get overlooked. It's really important to stretch ourselves in the physical world as well as in the mind, which is also why I'm now in physiotherapy. So on Friday, I was kind of whining inside my head because I was exercising some new muscles and it hurt. And there's a man I've noticed there a few times, a big fella, and he's obviously had a stroke. And I watched him just struggling to move his left side to, get on a machine and do some exercises. And I was just thinking, oh, wow, Lily, look at what this guy has to go through just to get out of bed in the morning. So I went to talk to him, and I thanked him for giving me inspiration. Really nice fella. Chatted for a while, and turns out he had a massive stroke in 2003, spent a year in the hospital. He was in a coma for a long time. And he said, I was in a coma for months and know how I came out of it? I said, no, I do not know how you came out of it. He said, they pulled the plug, that's how. So they believed he would not survive without life support, and they made the terribly difficult decision to turn it off, and that's when he turned on. And he laughed, and I just marveled at this guy. He's the poster boy for gratitude. I used to journal a lot more than I do now, and I once journaled literally pages of accept the gift, accept the gift, accept the gift. I didn't even know what I was writing at the time, just accept the gift. And it seems like it should be fairly simple, right? Would you like a present? Why, yes, thank you. Unless for some reason you don't believe you deserve the gift, because maybe you don't know that you are the gift. Or maybe when life offers us blessings, we are a blessing receiving itself. So how often does somebody try to give you something and you say, oh, I couldn't possibly accept that? There's a huge value in learning to say, thank you, I accept. Because every time we say, no, 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 I couldn't possibly, or feel somehow that we don't deserve what's being offered to us, we're telling the plasticine nature of the universe that we don't like presents. And the ever-accommodating universe will eventually stop the flow of gifts. So then we feel like we never win the prize, and we close ourselves off to our own abundance. So here's a popular story. Struggle with gratitude for what you do have, because you see others who have so much more. And then identify with those who appear to have less. And then get offered a gift of some kind and push it away. It's a very popular story. Years ago, there was a woman I knew had this gorgeous jacket on. I really liked it. And I complimented her rather profusely on said jacket. And I suspect even a part of me kind of hoped she'd give it to me. And she took it off and she handed it to me. And I was like, I can't do this. And it was a bit of a trigger, because when I was a kid, my mom walked into the living room. She was wearing this blouse, and she said, "Do you like this blouse?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And she unbuttoned it, took it off, and handed it to me. And my dad said, "Great, I've finally seen you take the shirt off your mother's back." Anyway, I told this woman I couldn't accept, and she said, "Just take it. You really like it, and there's one that I want to get, and I can't until I get rid of one," because she had this one thing in, one thing out thing going on. Just accept the gift, because not only are you depriving them of the joy of giving something to you, but you're also telling the universe once again that you don't like presents. I like presents, and I spotted a really nice-looking jag out in the street just on my way in. So the same thing goes when somebody tries to give you a compliment. How many of you are good at accepting compliments? You know, you say, somebody compliments you and you're like, "Oh, I really didn't do very much at all," you know. You just rejected their gratitude along with the person who just reached out to give you a little love. It's a real flow stopper. How can we embody what we continue to push away? It's a false humility. So on Friday, this always happens when I'm writing a talk. I get whacked with my own talk right in the middle of it. On Friday, I was driving down the highway, and there was this elderly couple at the side of the road, and their car was spewing out so much smoke, I actually thought it was on fire. And I pulled over, and they had literally just pulled over themselves, and it was a dead zone on the highway. There was no cell connection, no nothing. So they couldn't look up the number for their tow truck, and they couldn't make the call even if they could. So I, after some convincing them that I wasn't a bad person, they just were really uncertain, but finally they came with me. I drove them to a place where they could get cell reception. They got a tow truck organized. I took them back to their vehicle. And they were just very profuse with their gratitude. And I was like, "Oh, come on, anybody would have done it." And, you know, it's just what I'd want somebody to do for me. And all of a sudden, I remembered this part of my talk, and I started laughing. So I consciously, just literally opened up the little veil I put in front of myself and accepted their gratitude. And then I dropped them off. And as I was driving back down the highway, I experienced such a lightness of being. I felt so buoyant. And I wasn't all in my head, "Oh, look what I did." I just felt so grateful to have had the opportunity to assist them. I had to accept their gratitude in order to feel a really deep sense of gratitude. It was a very interesting moment, big aha for me. So I know that a lot of you have seen Reverend Bonnie's regular posts on social media, posts of flowers and sunsets and moments of connection with friends. And I just really want to point that out, because what she's doing is acknowledging the gifts. She's a gardener. She's growing gratitude. The Jewish mystics understood that the earth and elements were infused with divine presence. I mean, we've all seen sunsets and oceans and eagles and hummingbirds and been moved to awe at some natural wonder. That contact with nature makes us feel like we're standing in the presence of something greater. And maybe also that we're part of this web of divine becoming. So there's a very simple Jewish way of acknowledging the wonder that the natural world awakens in us, and that is simply the practice of blessing natural phenomena. Just take those seconds. Oh, did you see the way the sun came through that red leaf? It's fall and it's getting cooler, so the leaves are changing. And you could go, oh, winter's coming. Or you could say, did you see the color that we don't get to see at any other time? Mary Oliver, and I'm sure some of you saw this, wrote a beautiful poem. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of lambs, how rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity while we ourselves dream of rising, how two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken, how people come from delight or from the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers, and let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. Expanding into gratitude has been a really big part of my personal journey, and I am grateful. And every day now I see and I acknowledge ways that I'm blessed, I'm lucky, I'm advantaged, I'm touched by grace. I'm exercising new muscles, and I'm finding ways, new ways to practice gratitude. So now, for example, when I drive down West Side Road, driving down the mountain into town, there's these yellow county road markers every so often. So every time I see a yellow county road marker, I go, gratitude. Oh, look at that bird. Gratitude. Wow, this is such a good car. Gratitude. Ooh, look at the road I'm driving on. Look at that tree. Even if I'm in a stew about something, I've just learned to ask myself the question, why do I believe this? It's also a great one for moving out of into gratitude. Why do I believe this? Because asking that question has allowed me to make a whole different journey to gratitude. It's allowed me to observe my own triggers and reactions to things so I can get to the beliefs that prompt them and then wash it away, build a better relationship with all of the good in my life. Instead of staying fused on a trigger or reaction or an old belief, I can put that down and put my attention on the good in my life. So we're all subject to beliefs that are imposed on us by the world around us. And some of you may recall in my last talk, I spoke about when I was driving here, and I was having this discussion in my head about loving myself and loving God, and I had bumped up against some old patterns, old beliefs. And then this chance moment saved me when I saw a weed growing through a crack in the highway at the side of the road, and the sunlight was shining through this huge spray of yellow flowers, and it was just this golden moment. They were so vibrant, dancing in the breeze, and I felt glorious. And it's kind of like, in the morning you wake up by degrees. This feeling of joy and gratitude just started welling up in me by degrees. I fell in love with that little golden blob of orbs. Mindfulness allows us to be present for these precious moments where gratitude is given and received. And all of life is found in these minuscule moments, often as simple as a weed growing out of a crack in the highway. I've really, part of my journey is that I've had to learn to make the transition from an intellectual sense of appreciation to that warm, expanding, buoyant feeling. From the moment that we're born, we're on a path of self-realization, finding how we connect to all of life. Everything that happens to us is part of that journey. And we attribute all kinds of thoughts and feelings and hidden beliefs to everything that happens in our lives. But what if we were able to strip ourselves down to the purest essence of God being, experiencing the full creative potential of living on a planet whose fundamental laws allow us to manifest? Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The game of life is a game of boomerang that returns our every word, thought, and deed with astounding accuracy." So let me say this again. I am God being, experiencing the full creative potential of living on a planet whose fundamental laws allow us to manifest. And all I have to do is pay attention to what I think and feel and say. But it's a powerful portal to gratitude. Life is an opportunity to be in a spacesuit called a human body and live in the material world where anything can happen. There's, and I'm sure some of you have heard this, but it's one of my favorite Buddhist stories that talks about how rare it is to be incarnated into this world. Imagine the surface of the entire planet is covered in water. And floating on that huge ball of ocean is one lone life preserver. Now you're swimming around under the water and you have to come up for air. The chances of you popping your head up inside that life preserver are the same as your chances of being incarnated on planet Earth. It's that big a gift. How many of us actually think of it that way and remember to be grateful that we're alive at all? Life is a gift, and we are alive to unwrap it in joy and love, or what do you want to choose? Paramahansa Yogananda wrote, "Every day should be a day of thanksgiving for the gifts of life, sunshine, water, and the luscious fruits and greens that are indirect gifts of the great giver. The all-sufficient one does not need our thanks, however heartfelt, but when we are grateful to him, our attention is concentrated for our highest benefit upon the great source of all supply." Expressing gratitude alters our consciousness, changes our perception and awareness of what is truly meaningful and abundant. And we are opening our hearts to offer blessings to the world and everything around us. We are allowing ourselves to be happy. And being happy doesn't mean we have it all. It just means we're grateful for all we have. Gratitude is a gift we give ourselves. So I'm going to just invite you to know with me. There is one something, one fabric, one power for good, for love, for wholeness and wellness that is the very foundation of the universe. Even that fly. And I know that since there is only one, that one is the fiber of my being. It is the fiber of your being. It is the fiber of life itself. woven in and through me and every other thing, every other being, every experience. And so I choose to pay attention to those threads that are woven through that experience. I choose to pay attention to them and say, wow, that's a beautiful color to go in my tapestry. Oh, look at that thread. It's absolutely luminous. I choose to look at the world around me and see the divine in all things. As I breathe in the truth of that, I feel buoyant. I feel grateful. I feel the sense of rightness and truth and wholeness that is life itself. And I will shout this out to the rooftops, knowing that the plasticine nature of this universe will receive the imprint of my word, thought, and deed and return it tenfold. For my good and the highest good of all concerned. And I ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable that every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today? Birds in winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. It's just another ordinary miracle today. When you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close to your heart, 'cause we are all a part of the ordinary miracle. Ordinary miracle. Do you want to see a miracle? It seems so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sun comes up and shines so bright and disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
And did they do it again or what? Perfect. Liliane's over here just like, yeah, that was exactly the song we needed to hear. Thank you so much. And let's thank Liliane also for her words on her message. Thank you. She's going to take it in. Let us give her our gratitude. And don't forget, these gratitude cards are in the back of the chairs this month. We're really focused on this. I hope you share with us your gratitudes. We love reading about what's working in your lives as well as what you want prayer support for. And when you give us your gratitude card, we just ask for more of the same to increase in your lives. So this month, we are giving 10% of what comes into the center to the Weed and Seed program. Each December, the children at Weed and Seed and Teen Connection are provided with a new pair of shoes and some winter clothes. And in 2020, they provided shoes and winter clothes to around 80 youth participants. And Weed and Seed sent us this message to us specifically. The Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces began to very generously support our annual fundraiser in 2017. For the past 4 years, your generosity has been integral in helping provide shoes and clothes to the youth participants. And so far, 100% of the donations that they get and the proceeds they get from fundraising have gone toward the youth participants. No funds have gone toward fundraiser expenses, and they hope to continue to keep it that way. So the Weed and Seed After School program is going specifically to purchase coats and winter shoes for students K through 12 in their after school program. And 10% of what we bring in here at the center this month is going to support them again in that project. We're so grateful to be able to do that with them each fall. So please repeat after me. Divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And so it is.
We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
So once again, thank you. Thank you for the blessing you are in my life and the blessing you are in each other's lives. I know this community supports each other in so many ways, and the practitioners are here. Look at all of them that have surrounded this room. I am so grateful for all of them. They are here to pray with you. Anything. Share your joy with them. Share something you like prayer support with them after the service. They will be around the room ready to receive and being so grateful for the opportunity to do so. Let's surround this room with our love and sing our closing song.